Hey Brian, have you ever heard of the digital euro?
Yes, well, considering I don't live under a rock, of course I've heard about the digital euro.
Really? I thought this was a quite technical topic for ordinary people like you.
Well, yes, it certainly is, but I've heard about the digital dollar, digital currencies, and of course also the digital euro.
Well, of course, I'm sure you have heard about Bitcoin
Of course.
and Ethereum, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
And probably even you may have a fraction of Bitcoin. Well, don't tell me. Mr. Taxman is watching us.
We keep our mouths closed.
And speaking about digital money, when was the last time you paid in cash? I haven't paid for weeks, even for months.
Yeah, except for small things when you go to the shop to buy some milk or bread. Last time I used over 10 or 20 euros, it would have been with credit card over the phone.
Well, in my case, I thought this would never happen. I have even paid the newspaper with my card, with my bank card. And really, before the pandemic, I think this is, we couldn't imagine paying so small amounts, not with physical money, with cash, but with cards. And perhaps the next step is seeing how we have to pay, or we can pay with this new digital coins, not only Bitcoin, even sooner than we think, we can pay with a digital euro.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. Well, in saying that, I remember going to Sweden and there was a cafe that we went to that was cash free, in the sense that you couldn't use cash. You had to pay by credit card. So I think that idea has been there for a while now, and that's certainly the direction we're going in.
Well, northern European countries are much more advanced than countries like Spain, Italy, France, even Germany. And by the way, I don't know if you have heard about the European Central Bank report about the digital euro. It is quite recent. It was released last October, and recently they released a second paper. Have you heard about that?
Yes, I heard about it, and I was able to look at it briefly, but some parts were quite technical. It was a bit hard to fully understand, but I think I got a general idea.
Yeah, surprisingly, a lot of the answers to some questions issued by the European Central Bank came from Germany, a half of all the answers. And it is surprising. These questions and these answers didn't call especially the attention from people in Sweden or Denmark, but Germany. So perhaps we are seeing how the importance given to these topics and these no cash signals. You said in some shops in countries like Sweden, soon we will see them in our countries, and even in a conservative country like Germany is.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think the digital currency then, but what would push it forward? What would make it become a thing?
People like you, young people.
Mm-hmm.
It will come. It will come.
So why isn't it here already then? What's stopping it so far?
Well, I think it is not being stopped. I think things are changing, and it is not a process concentrated on 5 or 10 years. Mm-hmm. Things are happening fast, but this is a big change. It will take the necessary time, but the pandemic has been crucial in this point. It has changed the way we behave in all the spheres of our lives, not only in paying, and the way we get in touch with money. We have the innovation. We have how young people, now is not so young. Young people is starting to create companies. We have Facebook, Amazon. These are young companies founded by young people. And I think both forces will move us fast to a new space in which, as I see it, I think digital money, new digital money. Now we use banking, digital money, when we have money deposited in our accounts and we pay with a card, we are transferring digital money. When we speak now about digital money, it is this new concept of private digital money, or something very modern as sovereign digital currencies, like the digital euro is. So all these things are happening at the same time. This is happening now. And as I told you, when people like you start to assume responsibilities in companies, you have to make the decisions with social projection. I think this is happening, and in those moments, we will see really a huge shift towards this new payments methods and this new way of thinking and behaving, of course.
So just to go back to differentiate, of course, now we look at our phones and we have the amount of money on the screen, but this digital money, it's only representing the physical money that we have. Is that fair to say? Whereas...
Well, until now, yes. Banking money represents, first of all, physical money, although we can create more banking money with a deposit of that money in an account.
Yes.
So we cannot say all the digital money comes from physical money, but the base of
yes,
the system is physical money, cash, notes, and coins.
Exactly.
But so we have physical money, we have banking money, and it has nowadays a digital base. But we will see coming next two new things. Private digital money, it doesn't have anything to do with coins or banknotes. And next, it is something extraordinary. We thought we would never see this, but how the sovereigns, the states will issue not physical money, but digital money. And that's the big shift of our times. And we have China. They have said, the Chinese central bank, they will release digital sovereign money, and Europe is coming next. Perhaps in this year, they will decide in the European Central Bank if they really develop this project. Now they're studying good points, bad points, and it is a complex topic because it will affect us, citizens, companies, but don't forget that money is an expression of sovereignty. It is an expression of power. So it's a really complex topic.
One question. So, of course, we know that the physical money we have is backed by gold. Do we know?
Not now.
Not now. Okay. Not now.
It was until 50 years ago, until Bretton Woods. Not Bretton Woods. until in the days of Nixon, when the USA they left the system of Bretton Woods and how there was an equivalency between dollars and a certain amount of gold. Now our money is completely what is called fiat money. This is based on the confidence we deposit on governments, but money doesn't have a value itself.
Exactly. It's not a true commodity like gold is or like something else.
No, it was. Will
this new digital currency have to be backed by gold or by something like this? Will it have to represent even paper money?
No. It's a pure act of faith of the user in the digital currency. But
like physical money is now, like in...
Yes, it's the same. Sometimes we consider that digital money is not good. It is dangerous. It may offer more negative consequences than good consequences. But we don't appreciate that in many cases it is so similar to sovereign money that if we say something bad about digital currency, it is bad as well related to sovereign. So now, yes, if we compare the nature of both types of currencies, they are not so different.
Many people may say it's easier to do illegal activity with digital currencies, but I mean, you can do that with physical money as well. So it's not really a good argument against it.
So I think, why do we have more confidence on sovereign currencies? I don't mind they are physical or channeled through the banks. In the end, we find the states, we find governments, and I think this generates confidence for the citizens as well. We don't have to feel unconfident when we see private projects, but they're still too new for us to feel that strong confidence, at least the confidence we usually have related to states. Of course, there are citizens that as well don't trust governments. I mean, we don't have definitive answers for all the questions. And we are transitioning from that clear and a consolidated state of things to something new. And it is always difficult. But finally, even now, speaking about the digital euro, the European Central Bank says they will be supported by the banks. This digital euro will not set the banks aside. The banking intermediaries will be an important part of this new mechanism.
Which makes it different from the other cryptocurrencies because they can really essentially exist outside of the banking system.
Of course, they don't get in touch. They don't get in touch with banks, and they don't get in touch with the states. So we have to admit as well that there is a long relation between states and banks for centuries. Banks have supported states to develop, and the states have let banks finance big companies, multinationals. So it's there are a lot of strong relations between states and banks as well. So it is natural to a degree that the European Central Banks says they will use the support given by conventional banks. By the way, conventional banks that are suffering big competition coming from non-financial entities offering financial services. We can speak in a different day about fintech, big techs, Facebook, Amazon, Google. They are starting to offer some services provided in the last decades by banks. So it is a complex situation, but in the end, like I said at the beginning, you, with your decisions, when I say you, I say young people, you will have to decide. In my case, I didn't have the option to decide. I could use cash or a bank card. But I mean, when you're an age, when you are 40, 50, 60, 70, it's difficult changing the way people behave. Even so, in the pandemic, we have seen a shift in the way people behaved. And even old people, they have used ATMs, for instance, much more than ever. But young people, you see this like something more natural. For you, it is not an election between two different things. It is something you freely appreciate. And with your freedom and with your free decision, you will consolidate one way of doing things differently or continuing doing things like we did. Anyway, things are changing, and digital transformation is not something we're waiting for. It is happening.
Yeah.